WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Selena Schaefer. West Point police are looking for suspects in connection with a drive-by shooting earlier this afternoon that left one person injured. Officers responded to the emergency room at the hospital around 1:30 this afternoon after getting a call about a drive-by shooting. They interviewed a victim who had been shot in the leg. The victim's name is not being released at this time. Another witness told investigators that they were getting out of a car at an apartment building near the corner of Brame and Eshman Avenue when a vehicle drove and fired one shot. Police say they have a suspect and are looking for the driver of a light blue Mercury Marquise in connection with the shooting. They're offering a reward of up to $1,000 through the Crime Stoppers for information leading to an arrest. Well, 22 people are behind bars tonight following a saturation arrest in Clay County and West Point on Thursday night. Sheriff Eddie Scott says agents from the U.S. Marshals Service, along with investigators from multiple agencies across the state, assisted in the sting. The arrests range from traffic offenses, drug charges, to felony circuit court indictments. Scott says the agencies will continue serving additional warrants in the upcoming days. Well, 7 people are facing charges after the Monroe County Sheriff's Department raided a home last night. Deputies conducted the raid just after the midnight at home on Bigby Road. Inside the home, they found drugs and a few stolen weapons. Our Quentin Smith speaks with the Monroe County Sheriff about today's drug bust.
It's a win-win for law enforcement last night in Monroe County.
It was just after midnight when the Monroe County Sheriff's Department raided a Monroe County home for drugs.
We come through the woods, come down by a road, eased up the side of the road in the shadows. We were there. They never knew we were there. I mean, we took a lot of planning and it worked out.
32 guns, meth, loaded syringes, along with other drug paraphernalia were all seized during the drug bust.
That's 2 more drug dealers out of business in Monroe County.
Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says 2 alleged drug dealers, Travis Hester and Mike Langford, were inside when deputies entered the home.
This is just another drug dealer that's been under the radar. He's been really smart. We had to really do a very thorough investigation to catch these people, and that's what we did.
A total of 7 people were taken into custody, including Langford and Hester.
We actually arrested 4 people in that house and charged. They're going to be charged with, drugs, possession of drugs, and with intent. Also, while we were there, another person pulled up and had drugs in their car to come down there to buy drugs. And then a little bit later on, another man, 2 men came in. They had a lot of stolen merchandise on them that was stolen here in our county.
The sheriff is calling the raid a success, and he says keeping drugs off the street is something his department takes pride in.
We're not going to have it. We're going to work hard every day to bring every drug dealer to justice. And we're doing that in Monroe County, and we're going to keep doing it because it's only right.
Sheriff Cantrell says this is still an open investigation and there could be more arrests to come. Well, the man who died in a Thursday night house fire in Burnsville is now thought to be the person who started the fire. Tishomingo County Sheriff John Daugherty says that Ronald Cannon died in the blaze on Front Street. The sheriff says that his office and the staff fire marshal suspected the blaze was arson. Investigators haven't released a motive, but the sheriff confirms the homeowner and Cannon did have a prior relationship. The homeowner is not believed to be involved with the setting of the fire. Time now to turn it over to weather for our first look with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith?
So, Lena, we've had a lot of storms around the region today. Not a lot of severe weather. That's certainly good news. Heavy rainfall, yes. And look at this ominous-looking shelf cloud near Grenada earlier this afternoon. But now we have some active weather rolling on through the region. Specifically, Columbus, we've had a pretty good storm looking off to the east. The backside of the gusty storm that produced a lot of lightning and very heavy rainfall. That is now into southern Lamar County and northern and western Pickens County, Alabama. No severe weather in this, but as you can see, there's lightning, some pretty good rainfall rates here. Just moving into Macon right now, batten down the hatches, a pretty good soaking coming your way here with that south. So we do have some of this kind of activity moving on through, lighter showers here back to the west and to the northwest. All of this is going to get out of here after 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We may see some clouds linger tomorrow morning, but then by the afternoon, We're looking at a lot of sunshine. We're back into the upper 70s. A great way to start the weekend, Selena. More in just a few minutes.
All right, well, an update to a story we first brought you at 6. A Hinds County judge is blocking a state order that would have shut down a check cashing and title loan company with locations in the Golden Triangle. Late this afternoon, Judge Dwayne Thomas signed a temporary restraining order allowing All-American check cashing to stay open. The Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance had issued an order barring the company from making new loans, saying that it repeatedly violated state lending laws by encouraging customers to only pay interest on loans and by letting consumers take out new loans to pay off old ones. The firm was also fined over $1 million and ordered to give refunds to some customers. The restraining order puts a freeze on those moves as well. Well, a grassroots organization is trying to sign up more voters in Lee County. Mississippi Votes will hold a training session tomorrow at the Link Center in Tupelo. The nonpartisan group is educating people about the importance of registering to vote, training volunteers to go door to door, helping people register, and providing research about voter registration. Trends and policies. Lee County was chosen to the low number of registered voters in the area.
In Lee specifically, there are over 10,000 unregistered eligible voters, and they're mainly concentrated in low-income and youth voting age populations. In Mississippi, we actually have some of the worst voting-related policies. We're one of 13 states that does not offer early voting.
Mississippi Votes will be working in Lee County for the next 6 months. For more information, you can head on over to our website at WCBI.com. Well, an Oxford educator is set to take over as the next superintendent of Aberdeen schools. Board members have picked Jeff Clay to lead the district starting July 1st. Clay is currently an assistant superintendent in Oxford. His selection comes as the district returns to local control after being led by a state conservator.
Mr. Clay wants to be visible, not only in the school community, but in the greater community. He is a great listener, and one thing that impressed me, he said that he wants to live in the community, buy a home here, shop here.
Clay takes office on July 1st.
Storms moving on in Tupelo. You can see this with our Alpha Insurance time lapse from earlier this evening. Some wet weather for you as we get into the weekend and beyond. Things will switch around 180 degrees. We see a lot of sunshine, turning hot and dry next week. Full forecast is next.
Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
10:12 on this Friday evening. Thanks for staying up with us late here as we close out the work week. Vivid light show looking off to the east from downtown Columbus. Still looking at some showers and storms in the region. That's our Alpha Insurance camera. You can see these heavy storms, the darker oranges, the reds, the yellows, the heavier rainfall, Millport, Alabama, moving through Pickens County near Carrollton right now, all the way through Pickensville. Has been through Columbus. We've seen that, and now approaching Macon and Noxubee County. On the back side of this, some lighter rain, some steadier rain, a little bit of thunder and lightning, and some of that extends back to the northwest into Tupelo too. So that's what we have going on across our region. All of this will be out of here later on tonight in a few more hours. But what we've had so far today, this morning and this afternoon and evening, several inches of rain, 1 to 4 plus, and that has prompted some flooding issues out there. You can see what was going on in Grenada earlier this evening. You can see some of this flash flooding right there in Grenada. Thanks a lot to Chris Mann for those photos right there. And also some of these shelf clouds that were developing on the leading edge of these storms. That's how it looked as the storm complex was moving through Starkville. A little lowering right there near Coffeyville earlier today across the northwestern part of our viewing area, and even out towards Oakland, Mississippi there, looking back to the west. And very distinct lowering with that particular storm cloud. And there's another shelf cloud, the one that was blowing through Columbus not too long ago. So here's Futurecast picking up on the situation, doing a pretty good job overall this evening. This will pinwheel and get out of here sometime by 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Now notice the light gray here. We may see some low clouds with all this moisture that fell today from the clouds lingers tonight. Some of that could keep these clouds going a little bit for the first part of our Saturday, but then as we go through time tomorrow, things will improve nicely. 9 o'clock, 67 degrees, by 1, 75, and by 5 o'clock, 79. It's looking like a pretty good start to the weekend. Your Mother's Day on Sunday, we are sunny. We are 84 degrees. and we get even warmer from there. So tomorrow we are looking at temperatures well into the 70s. This area of low pressure is out of here. High pressure comes on in, and that means nice weather for Sunday and beyond. And temperatures will actually be warming. Humidity levels will be increasing next week, and we're getting back up to around 90 degrees just about all week long. So it's been very beneficial, the rain we've had today, this morning, and even this evening. Hopefully it's soaked on into your backyard, your garden, because going out in time for the next 7 days, we're looking at a lot of sunshine, a lot of drying here. Upper 70s tomorrow, mid-80s Sunday, and there you go, 90 Monday and Tuesday. Selena?
All right, when we come back, we take a look into the effect a local death is having on a community and some of the conversations it's started.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Selena Schaefer.
Welcome back. It's a tragedy that's still weighing deeply on the hearts and minds of residents in our area. You may remember Mariah Isaacs, the 12-year-old girl whose mother says bullying contributed to her death. After the shock wore off, the conversation on bullying began. WCBI's Renee Skinner continues the discussion with a local expert and a state lawmaker.
There's a difference between being mean and being bullied.
Bullying is something that is purposeful, has a targeted person, happens on a frequent basis, and usually becomes more intense the longer it is carried out.
Counselor and play therapist Wendy Woods says once that line is crossed, the effects on a child can be devastating.
It can impact their self-esteem, it can impact their social functioning. It can cause a child who was once very energetic and outgoing and even confident to have a slip in grades.
If your child is acting out or behaving differently, Woods says that's when parents should start asking questions.
If you're going to take it a few steps further in asking your child about their day, about their feelings, about their friends, make sure that you actually are stopping and having a moment to speak with them, not just superficially listening.
A conversation that Woods believes should be happening at home, but in Jackson, the conversation is growing among lawmakers. Now let's be clear, there are no federal anti-bullying laws, even though ironically I did some checking and all 50 states have anti-bullying legislation, including Mississippi. In our state, House Bill 263 allows school districts to develop their own policies on bullying, and it gives victims the right to defend themselves.
Some school districts have zero tolerance when it relates to altercations that take place in school.
State House Representative Kabir Kareem is one of the co-authors of the bill. Governor Phil Bryant signed off on the legislation earlier this year.
We just have to be, number one, more focused on our children, what they're doing, who they're interacting with.
House Bill 263 goes into effect on July 1st. Coming up, Tupelo and Mooresville going for fast-pitch state championships this evening down in Ridgeland. Highlights and reaction next in sports.
Here's WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe.
2 years ago today, Tupelo hired Nettleton's Dana Ray to take over the school's softball program. Ray had brought multiple state championships to the Lady Tigers of Nettleton in their tradition-rich program, but he had yet to do so with the Lady Wave. until tonight. Tupelo looking to win that first fast pitch state title against Harrison Central in Game 2, bottom one. Ivy Watts doing her thing. This just is par for the course for her. Solo shot to left, 1-0 lead for them Blankets. Bottom three, we got a runner on this time, and Ivy's, no, she didn't do it again, did she? She did, this time to right. She's incredible. That's 2-run bomb, 3-1 lead now for Tupelo. In the 6th, Katie Reeves doing her best Ivy Watts impression. This one is gone to left. A 2-run homer, it's now 7-3 Tupelo, and then in the 7th, Watts is on the circle, and she would induce the pop-up to finish it. That's your ball game. That's your winner. Tupelo wins their first ever fast pitch state title over the three-time defending state champs from Harrison Central, 7-3, an extraordinary achievement on the second anniversary of the hiring of head coach Dana Ray at Tupelo. Here's them Blankets afterwards.
I'm speechless right now. I literally cannot even explain this feeling. It's so great.
It's pretty remarkable. There's no words to describe what this team and what this group of girls have done this year. I think I said the other day, relentless is probably the best word to describe this group, man. They wanted it. They battled through a lot of adversity this postseason, and they're reaping the benefits now, though.
27, Melina Seaford.
They certainly are indeed. Congratulations to Tupelo. And how about Moorville? Well, you already know by now the Lady Troopers are your back-to-back state champs in 3A. I'm going to show you how they did it. Kara Hayes starting things off in the 2nd with a rip that would score 2, giving the Lady Troopers a 2-0 lead. Bottom 3, Moorville's now up 4-0. 2 runners on. Ainsley Basham bashing one into right past the right fielder. That would score Abby McDonald. 5-0 lead now for Moorville. And still in the inning, the Troopers would add to their lead thanks to a wild pitch, and Hallie Donald was also doing work on the circle in the process. This is just a Moorville team that just went to work in Ridgeland and got it done yet again. Here is the game-winning out right here on a strikeout. Celebration on from Moorville. Back-to-back state champs as they win 7-0. Congratulations to the Lady Troopers. If you want to catch our post-game interviews with the team, be sure to head over to our website right now at WCBI.com. And the lone playoff baseball game from tonight was up in Corinth, and the Warriors walked off in the 7th thanks to Kerrigan Manis and his 2 RBI singles. The Warriors win 4-3. They will go play for the 4A state championship beginning in Pearl next week. To SEC baseball from tonight, Game 1 with Texas A&M and Ole Miss. James MacArthur in a little bit of trouble here in the first. Now, Mike Bianco trying to calm him down, and it just would not work. The Aggies were teeing off on him early. That's Jacob Petsky into center, scoring Brayden Shoemake. So the Aggies take a 3-0 lead. Bottom half of the first, though, Rebels would cut into that A&M lead. Here's Nick Fortes going into right center. It gets down, scoring New Hope's Will Golson. It's now a 3-1 game, but 3 Aggie home runs really hurt the cause. Ole Miss just couldn't seem to consistently chip away at the lead. Will Golson, though, had a phenomenal night. 3 for 4 at the dish with 2 RBIs. Here is a double into left, scoring Greg Hessinger. A&M would take Game 1, though, 12-5. Rebels got to have both games coming up Saturday and Sunday to continue to stay put in that regional position race. Mississippi State in action earlier this afternoon against Georgia, and Brent Rooker is doing Brent Rooker things. And mind you, we're just all living in Brent Rooker's world because he's still doing this. That's a 3-run shot to left. That's his 20th home run of the year. The Bulldogs are now up 3-0. Well, the MSU Bulldogs, because Georgia's the other Bulldog. But State was the top dog today, and so is Elijah McNamee. 2-run shot to left. It's now 5-0 State in the 6th. Connor Pilkington pitched a gem today for the Bulldogs. He had a little bit of help behind him in the process. This blooper to left. What a play by Cody Brown. Downtown Cody Brown making the diving snag. And then Brown was up in the 7th, and he would do a little work at the dish as well. Ripping one into right center. MSU takes Game 1 9-3. Game 2 is set for tomorrow at 3 p.m. And 2 quick coaching moves for you. Taurus Metcalf is your new head boys basketball coach at West Point, and Jimmy Young is your new head football coach at Moorville. That's it for sports. Playoff baseball coming up tomorrow night. We'll have it all for you. We'll get a last look at your forecast when we come back.
All right, we still have some showers and storms out there. Macon, you're getting socked right now with some good rain. No severe weather in this. This will go away over the next couple of hours. We will have a lot of sunshine here as we get into the weekend. Computer, let me just tell you, sunny tomorrow, 79, 84 on Sunday.
Some nice showers to put you all to sleep right now.
That's right.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. We hope you have a great one.